The reality is that like tariffs are just stupid. Tariffs are how stupid people do economics. This is Robert Reich explaining. Uh, Here we go. The problem with CFPB being taken away. I think this is one of those messages that just like needs to consistently get out there. In the debate I had with the MAGA on Friday, this is one of the things they didn't understand. They didn't understand what the CFPB did. They thought it was a organization designed to take money from consumers. It's not. It protects consumers. And here's Robert Reich. It's a minute and 30 of him explaining perfectly what the CFPB does and why it's a problem that they're getting rid of it.
Trump and his billionaire buddies are using government efficiency as cover to eliminate the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. But the CFPB is one of the most efficient government agencies we have. Formed after the 2008 financial crisis, the Bureau exists to protect your money from scammers. It also keeps predatory financial practices in check, cracking down on junk fees for credit cards, bank accounts, and more. The CFPB is also finalizing a rule to remove medical debt from credit card reports. Since 2011, the agency has returned over $20 billion to victims of financial fraud. For every $1 in funding for the CFPB, more than $4 has been placed back in consumers' pockets. It's a shining example of efficient government working for the people. So why do Trump and his billionaire bankrollers want to delete the agency? Fewer watchdogs means more opportunities for you to get scammed, leading to more money for them. With a defanged CFPB, giant financial institutions like banks, mortgage lenders, credit card corporations, and debt collection companies will have a far easier time picking your wallet. They'll skim your hard-earned money off the top and funnel it right into the pockets of the super wealthy and big corporations. It's clear who Trump really serves, and it's not you.
Samurai said, what do you think of putting tariff on Taiwan for chips and semiconductors? You know, those are proprietary. These are hard to make and costly for the United States. Yeah, that's why they're in Taiwan, because manufacturers in the United States couldn't make them here in a cost-effective way, and so they outsourced all of that to Taiwan. And now, after capitalism outsourced it to Taiwan, now Trump is putting tariffs to try and build them here. The reality is that like tariffs are just stupid. Tariffs are how stupid people do economics. Tariffs are meant to level the playing field. Sometimes it's meant to protect certain products that are made in your country, but largely they're tools made for developing countries. And Trump looks at every tariff as an attack. So he looks at, let's say somebody puts a tariff on meat here, like let's say U.S. beef. Let's say there's a tariff on U.S. beef, but that country, like if their beef production isn't sold to the people in their country, then those farmers lose their income, and they don't have the ability to bail out those farmers. What Trump is doing is slapping retaliatory tariffs on all of these countries when we don't need them. It's not going to benefit us at all. In fact, it benefits us that we are able to use cheaper, that we're able to get products cheaper in other countries. Some of that is because of the cost of labor. Some of that is the cost of slave labor. I do want to say that there is a difference. There are people who can make low wages and survive in their country, and they can live in their country because labor costs are cheaper, and that it's not necessarily slave labor. And then there's slave labor, which we should all be opposed to. I think we should do our best to not purchase products that are created with slave labor. But in certain countries, you know, $13 a day here might mean you are destitute, but $13 a day in another country means you might live relatively comfortably. So that's why tariffs exist. But Trump doesn't understand that. So he's just going through and he's like, where are there tariffs on us? And then anywhere where there's tariffs, he just slaps retaliatory tariffs. He's killing all of our trade deals. He's killing people. He's killing countries' economies. But that works for him because ultimately, and there's been this weekend, there's some stuff that came out that I think for like the last month, a few people, including myself, have kind of said, you know what would make sense like if you want to try and make sense of what Trump's doing, one of the things that would make sense, not saying that this is happening, but one thing that would make sense is that he's trying to build a strategic alliance with Russia and China so that the whole world is basically run by three countries. There are now more people getting on that train. There are more people who are starting to understand that. You look at who Trump is going after in the first month of his presidency, not doing shit about China, not doing shit about Russia. But he is trying to decimate the economies of many other places. He is trying to establish a foothold in the Middle East, in Gaza and Palestine. He is negotiating on the Ukraine war, and he's leaving Zelensky out of those negotiations. It's just him and Putin. Like, here's what you can have. You can have Crimea. You may have the Donbass, and you may be able to take other countries. You may be able to take other parts of the world back. I think that there's good evidence that that's what's happening. I don't know that I would say like it is happening, but I think it's like one of a handful of explanations that make sense, that there's this trilateral agreement between the three of them. Otherwise, how do you explain how Trump has done nothing on China, nothing on Russia, but he's going after all these countries? It's like, wait, what the fuck is going on here? Why would the Panama Canal be so important to him, like at the first part of his presidency? And specifically, they're pointing at China because they want control of that. That's over here. That's on our side, right? So going in and establishing these positions, these that make sense for shipping and for manufacturing, all that stuff would make sense. Again, that's conspiracy, but that conspiracy theory is gaining traction, that there is some sort of trilateral agreement between the three of them, that basically they're going to say that the world will be three countries. It doesn't really fit with the oligarchs, though, where they want their own countries. So I don't know how much I would buy into that, but it's one of the few things that would make a little bit of sense.